I'd like to call to order the February 28th, 27th, right?
Yes.
February 27th, I don't want to do that, 2024 council meeting. Please rise for a pledge of allegiance. Please remain standing for a moment of silence and for a prayer. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
As customary in this chamber, we stand for a moment of silence to remember those who are protecting our freedoms here and abroad, for our first responders, for those who have made the ultimate sacrifice. And today we take a moment for having peace around the world. So let's take a moment, please. Mr. Pasquitti, our prayer.
Dear Lord, bless thy servants in the ministry of public affairs who serve thee in this chamber. Give us quiet minds and hearts that we may hear your voice. Help us to know when to speak, when to be silent. Give us strength to oppose the wrong and uphold the right. Grant that we have good conscience and at soul at peace with thee and one another. Amen.
Amen. Please be seated.
Roll call.
Please.
Councilperson Asatuli.
Present.
Did you say here? Present. Councilperson DeCaro. Here. Councilperson DePalma.
Here.
Councilperson Desai.
Here.
Councilperson Garcia.
Here.
Councilperson Murphy.
Here.
Councilperson Pasquitti.
Here.
Councilperson Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Here.
Council President Sohar.
Here.
This meeting is being held in conformance with the Open Public Meetings Act. Notice has been given to the official newspapers of the Township on January 6, 2024, and has been posted in public places. Next open public meeting of the Township Council will be held on Tuesday, March 12, 2024, at 7:30 p.m.
Okay, thank you and good evening to all. We'll begin with a public hearing, H1, Performance Guarantee Release, Two Girls Waterworks Road, LLC, Block 6017.11, Lot 9, 571 Waterworks Road. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Madam President and Council, Robert McGowan. No, I'm sorry.
Good.
Ladies first.
Good evening,
Council
Nicole. How are
President.
you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
So we're here tonight because there was an application in front of our zoning board called Two Girls Waterworks Road, LLC. It was an application that was for the construction of a concrete batch plant located at the southwest corner of Old Waterworks Road and Cheesequake Road. A performance guarantee was posted for off-site improvements, which included a slight widening of Old Waterworks Road, some curbing, and then some landscaping off-site of that. The parking lot or the batch plant had lighting, signage, striping, landscaping, buffer improvements, driveway aprons, curbing, and a small parking lot in there to service a future building. The performance guarantee that was posted was in the amount of $167,220, of which in the form of bonds was $150,498, 10% cash portion in the amount of $16,722. And for the record, there has been notice that was published to the neighboring or the adjoining properties, and the engineering department has not heard any complaints on the application or the hearing for tonight. We just ask that the applicant, should the council look favorably on the release of the bonds, pay any outstanding escrow fees, post a maintenance bonds in the amount of $20,902.50, which represents 15% of the total off-site bonded improvements, including the landscape buffer, and posting an additional maintenance bond in the amount of $81,317.25, which represents 15% of the on-site stormwater management facilities. And recognizing that the applicant's attorney is next to me, I would ask that he introduce himself to council.
Okay. Good evening.
Good evening, members of council. My name is Robert McGowan. I am representing the applicant, Two Girls at Waterworks, and we do request a favorable response as far as the bond release. We agree with the conditions that have been recommended by the engineer.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Nicole. I will open it up first to the public. Is there anyone here who wishes to be heard on this matter? Seeing no hands, I will close the public portion. I will now go to council. Mr. Desai. Can you put your mic on, please? Thank you, Karen. Thank you.
I am not sure which lot we are talking, but as we go on waterworks, when Stavola came in, they developed the water, what you call it still has the water staying there.
Oh,
Storm water.
stormwater, okay.
Stavola's
Is that
property?
next to this plot?
There is a drainage concern that was brought to our attention by OB Chemicals.
Yeah, oh, okay.
Yes, but the source of that drainage or the runoff that is affecting Old Waterworks Road and actually partially the frontage of the applicant's site is coming from the container site. Partially because now we have a roadway that was not curbed that is now curbed. And so now there's sort of a concentrated flow going towards Old Waterworks Road. We have 2 local freight grants that we have received. We're working on contract plans to alleviate the drainage on that roadway. And we're working with the applicant for the container site to mitigate the drainage on his property.
Because during the rain, there are some pothole people don't realize, and their tire get busted.
I'm sorry, there's some what? There's some,
On Old Waterworks
Yes.
in front of
Oh,
Stavola
potholes,
and Kennedy
potholes.
Center, there
Yes.
are still pothole created due to water stagnation.
let us take a look when it's dry, definitely not tomorrow. When it's dry, we'll take a look at those potholes. We'll work with DPW to see if we could fill those in the interim of us getting our plans together for construction.
So this lot is further,
This lot is actually on the corner of Waterworks Road and Cheesequake Road.
Oh,
So
okay.
Waterworks
Now I
Road comes
know.
across right before you get to the train tracks on Cheesequake Road. This
Yeah.
is the property directly to the left
okay, yes.
as you're traveling
Yeah.
north.
Yeah, I
west.
understand now, yes. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, you're good? Okay. Anyone else on my left with a question, comment? How about on my right? Anyone on my left or my right? No? Okay, seeing no hands, I'll ask for a motion.
I'll
Move
do
it.
Okay. John moved it. Second, Mr. Desai.
Karen?
Roll call. Councilperson Asatuli?
Yes.
Councilperson DeCaro?
Yes.
Councilperson De Palma?
Yes.
Councilperson Desai?
Yes,
Councilperson Garcia?
Yes.
Councilperson Murphy?
Yes.
Councilperson Paskiddy?
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli?
Yes.
Council President Sohar?
Yes.
9 yeses.
Okay. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much, members of council. Thank you, Nicole.
Have a good evening.
Good night.
Okay. Bill list, Mr. Garcia.
Thank you. Good evening. Bill list as of February 27, 2024. Accounts payable, February 27, 2024, $14,126,934.94. Payroll, February 16, 2024, $1,292,613.65. Payroll overtime, February 16, 2024, $17,812.15. That completes my report. Thank you.
Okay. Can we have did you have an overtime report?
I have over.
Yeah, would you please? But is there a figure for it, Mr. Garcia?
Have the payroll overtime, $17,812.15.
Thank you. Okay, so Mr. Lennon, can you give us the breakdown of the overtime, please?
Yes, thank you, Council President. As Councilman Garcia stated, there was $8,212.73 sworn police overtime for the February 16th, 2024 payroll. When you deduct the grants of $979.52, deduct ETO of $803.30, that totals $6,429.91, totaling 89 men and women hours. There were no additional upticks in any other departments.
Thank you very much. Okay, do I have a motion?
Second.
Okay, moved by Dr. Greenberg Belli, second by Mr. Murphy.
Roll call, Councilperson Astatuli.
Yes.
Councilperson DeCaro.
Yes.
Councilperson De Palma.
Yes.
Councilperson Desai.
Yes.
Councilperson Garcia.
Yes.
Councilperson Murphy.
Yes.
Councilperson Pescitti. Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Yes.
Council President Sohar.
Yes.
9 yeses.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, next will be our budget introduction.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, resolution of calendar year 2024, budget introduction. Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening,
Mayor.
council. This is my first budget as mayor, but my 12th, I had sat on 12 as council, and I just want to say I have a new respect for all the work that goes into a budget. I didn't realize how intense it was, and I want to thank all the department heads for their many, many hours. As soon as we adopt the budget, they start beginning for the next year, all the work that goes in. I want to also thank Dawn and Vicky for all their work that goes into the budget. I mean, we've had so many meetings, it's unbelievable, and I want to thank all the employees too for their input. And I want to thank the council ahead of time for all the budget meetings that you'll be attending. that
Yeah,
Dawn
it's
will
a
be
long-
announcing.
it's
And now I'm going to pass it
yeah.
over to Dawn, and she's
Yep,
going to.
it's a big process. We
Yes.
thank all of you, seriously, we do. Good evening, Miss Dawn.
Good evening. Tonight, we're asking council to introduce the budget. As Mayor Walker indicated, our budget process with the departments really begins in August of them submitting their requests to us. And then we had department meetings in October of 2023. Obviously, there are some changes since then.
yeah.
We had another round late January, early February of 2024, to kind of nail down and finalize everything. And I know Mayor had said it, but I really want to thank Vicky. She likes to hide behind the scenes, but she's really the backbone of putting a lot of this together for many, many years now. It's really important that we take care of our financial planning early. Even though the state delays when we can introduce the budget, we like to still, try and keep on track. Because it allows us to go out to bid earlier, to get out there before
ahead
other
of the curve.
municipalities, get a more advantageous price on, contracts and our projects and stuff. So the 2024 municipal budget, total general appropriations excluding municipal library, is $66,557,526 compared to $65,579,344 in the 2023 budget as modified. Township administration has scheduled budget subcommittee workshops for March 6th, March 13th, and March 20th, and they'll be at 6 p.m. in room 201. At these meetings, we really go, for previous council people, line by line through the budget in great detail. The department heads are there, so any questions you have at that time, that's the time to ask them. The meetings will be advertised in the Home News Tribune, I believe, on February 29th, Thursday, and they are open to the public, so they can attend as well. The budget documents will be available for review at the library, Township Clerk's Office, and Finance Department. And we also post the state document as well as some other backup documentation on the Township website for people to review. A formal presentation and public hearing will occur at the April 9th council meeting. Also on tonight's agenda is 2 bond ordinances, one for general improvements, one for arena, and a capital ordinance for parking. The details of the projects, they were uploaded into Peak with the bond ordinance and also provided to council tonight. A presentation on capital will also occur at the April 9th meeting, along with public hearing and adoption of those ordinances. So tonight, we're asking Township Council to introduce the budget and ordinances so we can keep this process moving. Important to note that this is just introduction of the budget. This is not adoption, this is not holding you to anything. So, we'll continue through the process. You can ask your questions at the subcommittee meeting. I'm available. If anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out to me.
All right, well, thank you very much. Very long process and a lot, it really is to absorb, but we appreciate all the time. It's a very big commitment. Thank you very much. Okay, so we're going to do resolution for calendar year 2024 budget introduction in the amount of $66,557,526, correct? Okay, so we need a motion?
Second.
Okay, moved by Dr. Greenberg Belli, second by Mr. De Palma.
Roll call, Councilperson Asatuli.
Yes.
Councilperson DeCaro.
Yes.
Councilperson De Palma.
Yes.
Councilperson Desai.
No.
Councilperson Garcia.
Yes.
Councilperson Murphy.
Yes.
Councilperson Pasquini.
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Yes.
Council President Sohar.
Yes.
8 yeses and 1 no.
Yes, okay, well, thank you very much. Next is going to be,
Thank you, council.
next is resolution, calendar year 2024 budget, to be read by title only at the public hearing.
Can I have a motion?
Move it.
Can I just make one? I
Yeah.
just want to say something. I think every year, except I think last year, we always had a budget workshop with the council people or committee. What happened this year? We don't even know. You are just handing out us this big book. and
Councilman,
wants
this
to
is,
review now.
Wait,
this is
Eric.
the,
Mr. Desai, the process is for us to allow the budget to be introduced. Then we go through all those meetings, they're all scheduled, and then we have a hearing.
We can hear line by line.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
that's
then,
good.
and then we have a hearing of the residents as well. So if people naturally, want to come and ask questions. So this is just to say we're getting the process started. It doesn't mean yes or no in terms of the budget or your opinion. It just means, yes, let's move it up, and then we'll talk about it.
Okay, then
All right.
I will change my vote. to
Okay, all right.
That's why, just if I may, I was hesitating a little bit because I've talked about this in the past, like how I feel like I believe that, moving forward, if we could have some sort of, not the full budget meetings, but some sort of pre-presentation, because it's really hard to, say, okay, and we got the budget, we saw the numbers, the appropriations and the revenues. And, I understand that this is just for,
Well, it's state law.
the workshop. No, I absolutely understand that it has
yeah.
to be done.
Yeah.
However, what I would like in the future is just if we could have an overall not even a presentation, but just an overall, like maybe get these books a little ahead of time before this meeting. Are we not allowed to get the books ahead of time,
So,
Mayor Walker?
if I could,
Excuse me.
Yeah, Mark, you want to address that thing?
so you have to understand, the way it works and the process has been is that the administration in the Faulkner Act, they prepare a budget. Think of it just like, well, as Congress used to be, but they don't do it anymore. They prepare the budget. So it's the mayor's budget up until the time it gets introduced and then it gets accepted. Then it becomes council's budget. Council ultimately is responsible for adoption. So there's nothing to do at this point, and that's why you have the hearing process. Now that you have it, council has it, now council goes through and looks at it and does the whole process. And if they want to make changes, they make changes.
I absolutely understand that.
But
I absolutely
that's-
understand that.
but
That's not what I'm,
Well, right. So unless and until it's introduced, it's not a formal budget.
well, I understand. I do understand what you're saying, Mark, thank you. But I guess what I'm thinking about is I remember last year that I had a question during the budget meetings. And I remember being told at that time that, it had to do with the salaries of to be specific, it had to do with the salaries of the mayor and the council. And I remember being told that, oh, well, you know what, we can't really change it now, Jill, it's too late. You know, we can't because it already went. This is what we were told, this is what our previous business administrator said. It's too late, you know what, it's gonna have to go up to state again or wherever. And it would be too much of a process, Jill, to change anything now. And so, you know, I'm sorry, we can't do it, we can't make a change. And that is, I mean, our council people were in these meetings, and I'm sure you guys heard that response. And that is what I'm trying to maybe get past, you know, because it is my understanding, and I might be wrong, but it's just what I experienced last year, that, you know, yes, we do go through the budget line by line, but we can't really change anything. I mean, we can, but it would be hard to do. It would have to go back to, you know, wherever it went, the state, I guess, to be approved. Do you understand what I'm saying, Dawn?
I mean, changes can be made. You can make amendments to the budget, depending on how much, what,
I just remember last year we weren't able to.
because we actually did have to do budget amendments last year because the state required us to change a couple things.
State required, but like
Yeah.
if I, as council person, you know, said, you know, like I remember having that conversation, and I'm sure the rest of the council members remember it as well. And, you know, the other people that are on the dais. And I remember that being a conversation, and that is why, you know, and I did ultimately vote yes, but that is why I hesitated, because, you know, I want to know before I'm voting, I want to know a little bit more, you know, and I understand it's law, Mark, and I understand all of that, we have to vote on it in order for it to move forward. I understand all of that completely, but I just, it's hard for me as a council person to do, you know, to vote with due diligence. Do you understand? And that's the only thing I'm discussing, you know, and, you know, it might be frustrating for other people to hear, and I apologize for that, but that's just something that nobody can seem to really address that. And I know, like you're saying, yes, changes were made by the state, but if a council person says, you know what, I don't think this is right, I don't like that because, and I know that happens because that happened last year with me, I was told that, no, it can't be changed now, it's too late. Yeah, that's, I'm sorry, John, but that is what I was told, and other people that were in the room.
Recommendations.
Were they taken, and were they changed?
The council did.
No.
I thought they did.
All right,
I
so
mean, council is allowed to make recommendations and put up amendments, and then they would the amendments get voted on by the
Okay, well,
council.
then I was given incorrect information at the budget meeting in front of the rest of the council members last year then.
okay. All right, so are we good on this now as far as clarification of what people feel, what they're, you know, what they asked for? So everyone is now, did you want to add something before
Yeah,
we
I would just
finish?
like
Okay.
to reiterate, this is the mayor's budget being introduced by state statute. This is the format that we've done. I've been to council meetings for over 30 years coming here, and this is the process that's been used all the time. So I don't understand the mystery of it. We're voting to introduce it. We're not voting to accept the budget, on the budget. We just got the budget, but there's a timeline and a process that they have to do. Just as the mayor explained, we still have one budget now, they start on another one right away and put things together. So things are done, and whether they're a line item, if we don't use it, there's a provision where that money, if you see that throughout the year, different things that we vote at the end of the year, how that money is appropriated. So I don't understand the mystery of it after 30 years that this is, and I'm sure before I've even attended a council meeting, this is how it's been done. It's, state law, so, this is just introduction. And you get it, there's a timeline that they have to follow, and this is the timeline that they present it. They don't present it to us before it's voted on and introduced. So that's why it follows this chain of format. Thank you.
Okay, so now everyone has spoken, their opinions. Okay, so can we get a motion and a second here?
We
I mean, we
did, they
did.
already voted.
Sorry.
But I do want to make sure and reiterate,
No, I mean for the next item.
You need to take
Right.
right, you have to take it's a motion to amend the prior vote.
Right, that's what I was going to say, we need a motion and a second, because Mr. Desai had made a change in his vote, so we just want to make sure we have that down.
Regarding the introduction of the budget.
Right, exactly.
okay, so I need a motion to,
Okay, move it, and second? We have a second for it?
Second.
Okay, second, Dr. Greenberg?
roll call to amend the prior vote of the calendar year 2024 budget introduction.
Okay,
Councilperson Asatuli.
Yes.
Councilperson DeCaro.
Yes.
Councilperson De Palma.
Yes.
Councilperson Desai.
Yes.
Councilperson Garcia.
Yes.
Councilperson Murphy.
Yes.
Councilperson Pasquitti.
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Yes.
Council President Sohar.
yes,
And I just want to state again that the public hearing for the public hearing for the budget is set for April 9th, 2024.
right, the 9th, okay. So now, next will be resolution, county year 2024, calendar year 2024, budget to be read by title only at public hearing.
Take a motion. Motion and a second.
Right,
We need a roll call.
right, I just wanted the public, because it got a little,
Councilperson Asatuli.
Yes.
Councilperson DeCaro.
Yes.
Councilperson De Palma.
Yes.
Councilperson Desai. Councilperson Garcia.
Yes.
Councilperson Murphy.
Yes.
Councilperson Pasquitti.
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Yes.
Council President Sohar.
yes.
9 yeses.
Resolution approving the governing body certification of compliance with the United States Equal Employment Opportunity Commission's enforcement guidance on the consideration of arrest and conviction records in employment decisions under Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964.
Move it. Second.
Okay, moved by Mr. Pescetti, second by Mr. De Palma.
Roll call. Councilperson Asatuli.
Yes.
Councilperson DeCaro.
Yes.
Councilperson De Palma.
Yes.
Councilperson Desai. Councilperson Garcia.
Yes.
Councilperson Murphy.
Yes.
Councilperson Pasquitti.
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Yes.
And Council President Sohar.
Yes.
9 yeses.
Ordinance establishing the municipal budget appropriation limits and cap bank, NJSA 40A:4-45.14 for calendar year 2024.
Move it.
Second.
Moved by Dr. Greenberg Belli, second by Mr. De Palma.
Roll call. Councilperson Asatuli.
Yes.
Councilperson DeCaro.
Yes.
Councilperson De Palma.
Yes.
Councilperson Desai. Councilperson Garcia.
Yes.
Councilperson Murphy.
Yes.
Councilperson Pasquitti.
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli. Council President Sohar.
Yes.
9 yeses. Public hearing set for March 12th, 2024.
Okay, bond ordinance providing an appropriation of $6,680,000 for various improvements in and by the Township of Old Bridge in the County of Middlesex, New Jersey, and authorizing the issuance of $6,345,100 bonds or notes of the township for financing part of the appropriation. Moved by Dr. Greenberg Belli, second by Mr. De Palma.
Roll call. Councilperson Asatuli.
Yes.
Councilperson DeCaro.
Yes.
Councilperson De Palma.
Yes.
Councilperson Desai.
Yes.
Councilperson Garcia.
Yes.
Councilperson Murphy.
Yes.
Councilperson Paskiddy.
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli. Council President Sohar.
Yes.
9 yeses. Public hearing set for April 9th, 2024.
Bond ordinance providing an appropriation of $275,000 for various arena utility improvements in and by the Township of Old Bridge in the County of Middlesex, New Jersey, and authorizing the issuance of $261,200 bonds or notes for the Township for financing part of the appropriation.
Move it.
Second.
Okay, moved by Mr. Murphy, second by Mr. De Palma.
Roll call. Councilperson Asatuli.
Yes.
Councilperson DeCaro.
Yes.
Councilperson De Palma.
Yes.
Councilperson Desai.
Yes.
Councilperson Garcia.
Yes.
Councilperson Murphy.
Yes.
Councilperson Paskiddy.
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Yes.
Council President Sohar.
Yes.
9 yeses. Public hearing set for April 9th, 2024.
Capital ordinance providing funding for various improvements for the parking utility for the Township of Old Bridge, appropriating $50,000 for such purpose.
I'll move it.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Desai and second by Councilman Murphy.
Roll call. Councilperson Asatuli.
Yes.
Councilperson DeCaro.
Yes.
Councilperson De Palma.
Yes.
Councilperson Desai.
Yes.
Councilperson Garcia.
Yes.
Councilperson Murphy.
Yes.
Councilperson Paskiddy.
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Yes.
Council President Sohar.
Yes.
9 yeses. Public hearing set for April 9th, 2024.
Okay, thank you, and thank you very much, ladies. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Vicky, sitting up there. Thank you very much. Okay, public hearing, ordinances for second reading. H1, ordinance of the Township of Old Bridge, amending Chapter 250 of the Code of the Township of Old Bridge, entitled Old Bridge Township Land Development Ordinance by amending 250-13, entitled Applications Generally. Wait, we gotta do the public, yeah. Good evening, Vina, how are you?
Try the other one.
You good? Okay, we're good to go? Okay.
Good evening,
All
Council.
right. Very good. Very good.
Thank you. Good evening, Council.
Good
This
evening.
is an ordinance to eliminate the waiver hearing process in front of the Planning Board and the Zoning Board. It is just a waiver from the checklist item, does not mean that the checklist item will not be asked for during the actual review of the application, but this is just to get past the completeness review stage. I'll take any questions.
Does anyone on my left have a question for Vina? Anyone on my right? Okay, all right, Vina?
I just wanted to thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, very good. Well, thank you. I think this is a good initiative to streamline things. It's a win for the public. And it's in general, I think it is a very positive for the town. Okay, so seeing no hands, I'm going to open it to the public first. Is there anyone in the public? No, seeing no hands, I'll close public and I'll go to council. Can I have a motion?
Second.
Okay. All right. You heard, right, Dr.?
Yes.
Okay. All righty.
Roll call. Councilperson Asatuli.
Yes.
Councilperson DeCaro.
Yes.
Councilperson De Palma.
Yes.
Councilperson Desai. Councilperson Garcia.
Yes.
Councilperson Murphy.
Yes.
Councilperson Paskiddy.
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Yes.
Council President Sohar.
Yes.
9 yeses.
Thank you very much. H2, ordinance amending the code of the Township of Old Bridge, specifically Article 7, daycare program, Section 160-31, fees for full-time, full daycare summer camp. Yep.
Good evening, council.
Oh,
Thanks for
is
having
it
me
eight?
again.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Good evening, how are you, Matt?
Good. So I'll be here back to back. I know I did answer some questions last meeting. If anybody has any other questions or clarification, let me know.
Okay, anyone on my left for, no? And how about on my right? Okay, so that one will ask for a motion. I'm gonna open,
Just to note, it's Article 8. I think you said Article 7.
okay. Oh, it was a misprint, all right.
Yes, Article 8.
We'll make it 8, Article 8. All right, so everyone's aware it is Article 8 when we go to vote. I'm going to open it to the public. Is there anyone here that wants to speak on this? I'll close the public portion. I'll go for a motion. Okay, Mr. Desai made the motion and a second. Second by Dr. Greenberg.
Roll call. Councilperson Asatuli?
Yes.
Councilperson DeCaro?
Yes.
Councilperson De Palma?
Yes.
Councilperson Desai?
Yes.
Councilperson Garcia?
Yes.
Councilperson Murphy?
Yes.
Councilperson Pasquitti?
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli? Yes. Council President Sohar?
Yes.
9 yeses.
Next will be H3, ordinance amending the code of the Township of Old Bridge, specifically Chapter 160, Article 1, recreation fees, Section 160-2, Hockey League Instruction Hockey.
Yep. And this is the one that I came in front of you guys last meeting for. This is the reduction when it is for the goalies of the hockey teams.
Anyone have a question? Okay, Mr.
I
Peskin.
just want to thank you, Matt, for looking out. Appreciate it.
Okay, do we have a motion?
Move it. Second.
All right, moved, I think, by Dr. Greenberg, and then second by, there was a couple down this way.
Who seconded?
Mr.
Murphy?
Murphy, okay. All right, roll call, please. Oh, I'm sorry, I have to open to the public. Yes,
Okay.
anyone in the public wish to speak? Okay, we'll close public, and then we'll go to roll call.
Councilperson Asatuli?
Yes.
Councilperson DeCaro?
Yes.
Councilperson De Palma?
Yes.
Councilperson Desai?
Yes.
Councilperson Garcia?
Yes.
Councilperson Murphy?
Yes.
Councilperson Pasquitti?
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli?
Yes.
Council President Sohar?
Yes.
9 yeses.
Okay, thank you very much, Matt, and thank you for all the research and the hard work trying to make sure that, you really do represent the public and make sure that we try to do the best we can to hold down the cost and make it something available to a lot of people, and that's appreciated. Thank you very, very much.
And thanks the entire council as well.
Thank you. Okay, next will be our consent agenda. I would ask for a motion in a second, and then we'll bring it back for separation.
I'll move it.
Okay. Move, Dr. Greenberg, moved it.
Tony seconded.
Mr. Pescetti, seconded.
Okay, any items for separation? Councilperson Asatuli?
No.
Councilperson DeCaro?
No.
Councilperson De Palma?
C1.
C1. Councilperson Desai? Councilperson Garcia?
None, thank you.
Councilperson Murphy?
No, thank you.
Councilperson Pasquitti?
C3 and C4.
C3 and C4. Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli?
Yes, C2. Thank you.
C2. Council President Sohar?
No, I don't have any, thank you.
Okay, so roll call on the balance of the consent agenda. Councilperson Asatuli?
Yes.
Councilperson DeCaro?
Yes.
Councilperson De Palma?
Yes.
Councilperson Desai? Councilperson Garcia?
Yes.
Councilperson Murphy?
Yes.
Councilperson Pasquitti?
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli?
Yes.
And Council President Sohar?
Yes. Okay, so we'll start with, it was C1 and Mr. De Palma.
So I don't know if Nicole or Vina, can you guys just explain exactly what we're doing to the police lot?
CGP&H is our affordable housing consultant. They actually work with myself and Vina on our affordable spending plan. There are,
Not to interrupt you, this was C1,
It's a C1.
which is
sorry.
A parking lot.
the
Okay,
parking
so,
lot.
um,
Thank you.
if anybody's driven by our police parking lot, most of the time it's overparked and there's parking on the grass or there's stacked parking by the building on the side where there's an additional entrance. We are now expanding the parking lot towards County Route 516. So there will be additional double row by County Route 516. But to limit the amount of impervious cover that we're adding, there's a sidewalk that runs parallel to the fence line that's along the library. You'll notice that there's a sidewalk and then the cars are parked just south of that sidewalk. But as you go further up that row, there is no sidewalk and the cars are parked further into the grass. So to alleviate or to try and not create additional impervious cover and not create stormwater management measures that we don't want to maintain for perpetuity, we want to limit that impervious cover. I want to shift all the parking so that it lines up with that impervious line. So the sidewalk will no longer be there, that will be parking, and then that first row will line up. That'll gain me like 10 feet. And then what I'll do is I'm going to reshuffle the deck and I'm going to add a little bit of impervious cover to the end and create about 34 more spaces in the parking lot. It creates the need to shift 2 of the internal light poles, and then on the exterior, I would have to add new light poles on there. So that would be the cost.
Why can't we just restripe it?
Because you're not restriping it to what? The spaces are there. So you're not
You said
gaining.
you're moving more spaces closer to 516. So when you come in,
No. I'm adding additional impervious cover so I could create more parking. But for me to take advantage of the additional impervious cover that that sidewalk has, if I shift everybody and create one straight line across that edge of sidewalk, I could then gain another 10 feet, so I won't have to add 10 feet on the backside. At that point, I take that as my starting row. I create 24 feet as my aisle width. Right now, it's somewhere between like 28 and 30 feet, which it doesn't have to be that wide for two-way traffic. I hold that 24 feet, and then I go 9 by 18, 9 by 18, create another 24-foot wide aisle, and then another 9 by 18. When I do that, I gain about 34 spaces. I make sure I limit the amount of impervious cover so that I'm not increasing by more than 0.25 acres, so I don't have to take care of stormwater management. I'm happy to show you the plans, Mr. Councilman DePaul.
I would like to see them. It's a lot of money that we could be using on a roadway as opposed to the parking lot. And I understand that the parking lot may not be perfect, but it fits cars. And I think we could better utilize that, that money elsewhere in town.
Anyone else on my list?
Yeah, I have one question. How did we get to 34 cars? Did we need, like that 34 cars, do we need space for 34 more cars? Like, how do we get to that number, if you don't mind?
I tried to back into the number. So for example, if you increase your impervious cover by 0.25, you have to do stormwater management. My intention is not to do that. We have enough detention basins, enough stormwater management facilities in this town that we have to maintain. We have a limited staff in our DPW building. It's for the life of the parking lot that we would have to maintain that basin. So I didn't want to create more impervious cover that would create another feature for us to have to maintain. I held that number and backed into how much impervious cover I could put there, and then it came out to, I believe it's 34 spaces. I'm not 100% sure. But if I'm going to guess, I'm going to say 34, 35 spaces.
Mr. Piscatty.
Just one more question. Do we have, are all the cars in use? What do I mean is we have so many cars. Is that the reason why they're all in use? That's why they're all over the place, or we can pull out some cars and how does it work, if you don't mind?
There are police cars, and then there's civilian cars for administration that works in the police department. I mean, our acting chief Fritz is in the audience, and I'm sure if Sergeant Doctors is here and available to speak on it.
Good evening.
Hi, Council. So we currently have anywhere between 80 and 90 police vehicles, and we have 110 spots, 112 spots. Doesn't leave you many extra. During the day, as Nicole said, we're parked on the grass, double parked. We're even using the other lots, library lot, whatever case may be. When we host training here, which we do downstairs, it's really, really bad. I'm sure there's been days where you've come by and you've seen that little grass circle there is loaded with cars. It's only a matter of time before something bad happens, crashes, all that stuff. There's been some crashes in the lot because it's just overcrowded. We have civilian staff. Like I said, they can't even park in there anymore. We direct them to go park somewhere else. So to answer your question, we use all the cars that are in the lot. Sometimes there aren't as many. Obviously, during midnight hours, you don't have the administrative cars there and things of that nature. But during the day, say on a Wednesday in the middle of the day, the parking lot is absolutely full, Monday through Friday.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Pescetti?
Yeah. Hi. What did you say the size of the lots, of the parking lots are? Did you say it was?
The parking spaces?
Yeah.
They're 9 by 18. As you get closer to the entrance of the building, they're 10 by 20 because those are the larger vehicles where the Tahoes park.
Okay, so that the 9 by 18, is that, what's our ordinance?
Our ordinance is 10 by 20. 9 by 18 is RSIS or a standard. Usually if an application, or if somebody was coming in for a site application in front of our planning and zoning board, they would need a design waiver to go to a 9 by 18.
So you're going to need a design waiver
No,
as
I'm
well?
not.
No.
No, it's existing.
Okay, so can we get that changed to 10 by, or 9 by 18? our
Well, the
ordinance?
10 by 20 in the ordinance was put in place because of the shopping plazas, right? Like if you have a shopping plaza, that's where it becomes more advantageous to you. 9 by 18 is in the residential site improvement standards book. So if somebody was coming in for, let's say, an apartment complex and they wanted to put 9 by 18, it's really like a technical variance because we have to give it to them because it's in the residential site improvement standard book, right? So it's something we want in there. We want a 10 by 20 space when you're dealing with shopping carts. You don't really necessarily need that if you're in a residential setting, in an apartment complex, where you're not having that constant movement. It's you park at the end of your workday, you come home, you stay there at night, you wake up, you leave the next day. There's really, unless it's the weekend, you're not in and out of your parking spaces.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, Mr. Murphy?
Yes, I'm sorry. That's the money you put in the budget, that amount?
No, no, it is not. I
It
needed more
just
money.
seems like a lot.
I needed more money, and I took it from available funding in capital bond from prior year paving contract, where we finished every road in that bond.
Okay, and you got other prices for this too?
16. I think it was 16. Councilman?
Okay.
17 bids.
17.
I never
The
installed
going
them.
rate, 17.
Anyone else? No?
Our estimate was 313, I think. I put it in the letter. Mark, do you have that letter in front
It's
of
in
you?
the resolution, $318,979.25.
That was the engineer's estimate.
Do we have any other questions?
I just want to make a motion to table till we can take a look at this. Just because we're taking money from what could have been roadways, I just want to make sure that we take a look at this prior.
Okay, so motion is on the floor to table.
Second.
Who's second? Mrs. Carroll, was it you? Okay.
Okay, roll call on the motion to table resolution number C1. Councilperson Asatuli?
Yes.
Councilperson DeCaro?
Yes.
Councilperson De Palma?
Yes.
Councilperson Desai? Councilperson Garcia?
Yes.
Councilperson Murphy?
Yes.
Councilperson Pasquitti?
No.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli?
No,
Council President Sohar?
this was already in from last year.
7 yeses and 2 nos.
Just, if I could, under New Jersey local public contracts law, you can hold a bid for up to 60 days, and then you can ask an extension just from get an idea of time frame.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, next will be C2, Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Yes, I strictly separated this to point out what happens when there's state mandates and they're not funded. And, you know, obviously with affordable housing, the administrative agent, the fees have gone up with everything. There's things they have to do, but when the state mandates affordable housing and you have this, I think when you look in every venue throughout the town, there are different mandates by the state, and unfortunately, they don't help us out by financing them. And that goes as well as for the MUA.
Do we have a motion? Is anyone going to make a motion
Move it.
for this?
Second.
Okay, who was it?
Who motioned?
Oh, Mrs. DeCaro? Okay, second was Mr. De Palma.
Roll call. Councilperson Asatuli.
Yes.
Councilperson DeCaro.
Yes.
Councilperson De Palma.
Yes.
Councilperson Desai.
Yes.
Councilperson Garcia.
Yes.
Councilperson Murphy.
Yes.
Councilperson Pasquitti.
No.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Yes?
Council President Sohar.
Yes.
8 yeses, 1 no.
Okay, next will be the C3 and C4. Could we do them together, Mr. Fiscal?
Yeah, it's just, I just wanted to know what happened. It's the same amount, it's a grant, and I want to know what happened that one had to be rescinded and the other one has to be reauthorized.
I was having this argument with Green Acres, too. There's an email that they had sent me where they said, essentially, a very long email that said that there's 3 new things that are in Green Acres rules that aren't published anywhere, but hey, here they are. And we want to make sure that you address it in your application. The other 2 don't apply to us, but the one thing that applies is that if you're doing an all-inclusive playground, it should be fenced, either by natural vegetation or by a fence. And so I opted to put the cost, now I had to update the cost estimate to include the fence. I didn't want to do a natural hedgerow because then that's additional maintenance on our Parks Department that I didn't want to put on them. So I did a split rail fence and added that into the estimate. Now, the grant is capped at $750, so I was arguing with them in a nice way that it's not going to change the grant, but it'll change our resolution. The number of the construction costs will change, and if ultimately, knock on wood, if we get the grant, that total project cost goes into the grant agreement, even though the grant amount would only be $750. So they want that number right. And it also means the calculation of what we're supposed to have, that remaining balance, should also be in that resolution as well. So it changes the number slightly, maybe $12,000, $13,000.
Okay, thank you. With that, I'd move it.
Okay, you're moving
C3
C3 and
yeah.
C4.
Mm-hmm.
and C4.
Yep.
Second?
Thank you, Nicole.
Roll call for approval of Resolution C3 and C4. Councilperson Asatuli.
Yes.
Councilperson DeCaro.
Yes.
Councilperson De Palma. Councilperson Desai.
Yes.
Councilperson Garcia.
Yes.
Councilperson Murphy.
Yes.
Councilperson Pasquitti.
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Yes.
Council President Sohar.
Yes.
9 yeses.
Report of the Township Clerk.
I have no report.
Report of the Township Attorney.
Nothing to report, Madam President.
Okay, Administrative report, Mr. Lenning. Good evening.
Thank you. The February 27th, 2024 Administrative Report. Item number 1, JCP&L light pole outages. Old Bridge Township Administration recently met with JCP&L to address the ongoing issues of streetlights being out. They have indicated that if a resident reported a light out in 2023 and you see that the light is still out, please report it again so a new work order can be generated. To report streetlights that are out, please visit www.firstenergycorp.com/outages. Please have the poll number ready. If you are unable to safely obtain the poll number, please indicate the nearest address to the poll. A work order with a ticket number will be generated. Please keep that information for your records. Administration is in touch with JCP&L monthly to ensure that outages are addressed in a timely manner. We appreciate your understanding. Item number 2, Parks and Recreation Spring 2024 brochure and registration. The Spring 2024 program brochure is now available online. Registration for residents is still open for certain programs. Please have your rec desk account set up prior to registration. We have programs for the entire community such as Mother's Day brunch, father-daughter dance, pickleball lessons, robotics and coding classes, fashion, illustration and design, and Camp Robin classes for children and teens. For more information, please visit our website at www.oldbridge.com/recreation or call the Parks and Recreation Department at 732-721-5600, extension 4999. Item number 3, the Housing Authority is accepting applications for Section 8. The Old Bridge Housing Authority is accepting applications for the Housing Choice Voucher Program known as Section 8. The applicants must fall under one of the following categories: low income, elderly, persons with disabilities, disabled veterans, or homelessness. Apply online from March 18th, 2024 at 7 a.m. to March 20th, 2024 at 11:59 p.m. or until 125 applications are received. For information and to apply, please visit www.oldbridgehousing.com/openings. Please note, there are no paper applications available at this time.
Okay, thank you very much. Does anyone have a comment or a question for Mr. Lenning? Mr. Peschetti?
Yes, the first thing I want to do is the Housing Authority applications for Section 8. Residents can go to the library and they'll be assisted by the librarian there, how to, if they have any difficulty doing that. And they're aware of that, just to let you know. On the JCP&L, I want to know, why is the responsibility on the resident? You know, I have had a problem with JCP&L in reporting outages, and I take the time to stop, take a picture of the poll number, go home, put it online, and then they don't do anything. And what happens is the way it gets accepted, you have to write that number down. And then if you don't write that number down, they have no way of tracking it. It's like, it's terrible, you know, so they have no responsibility, you know, and that just bugs me.
So I totally understand what you're saying about JCP&L. I had the opportunity to talk to a couple representatives, and you know, it's a manpower issue. You know, obviously everybody's running a lot thinner than they used to run. So they ask for our assistance. They do have crews out at night, emergency crews, but they're limited. And if there is an emergency, they don't have the time to drive around and identify the streetlights that are out. But we are working with them, and we're definitely voice your concerns and let them know that, you know, Old Bridge definitely needs our streetlights repaired.
Yeah, I appreciate that, because we pay a flat fee, right, for all of our lighting. So they, you know, they have no motivation to fix the lighting, right? It costs them money, and they're, you know, getting extra revenue for being out. I just want to let you know that I've done this a number of times, and if you go along 516, you can count, there's 7 traffic lights out, and they've been out for a long time. Now, they did, a couple weeks ago, fix a couple of them, but I'm just saying.
Can I just add something? I was at that JCP&L meeting, and we were told that after COVID, a lot of companies are not producing the sodium bulbs that are needed, so they got a new supplier, and the bulbs seem to be defective. So sometimes there's ticketed problem. JCP&L might have went out, changed the bulb, but the bulb went out in less than a week. So people think, oh, they never came. So that's why we're asking now to people, if they see the lights, please call in and get another ticket, because Sylvania is back in business now, so now they're getting a new supply of good lights that are not going out. So hope moving forward that these lights are going to stay on. They're supposed to last 3 to 5 years, they only last in a week currently. And we're hoping that we're going to stay on top of JCP&L, because they're aware that we are not happy with the service, and we're definitely going to stay in communication with them. But we'd ask that you ask all the residents to please, if they see lights out, I know it might be dangerous at night, if they could get an address that's close, at least if they could tell JCP&L that, get the ticket number, and we're going to stay on top of them to make sure this gets taken care of.
Thank you so much, appreciate it.
Okay, anyone else have a comment or a question? Okay, no, I just agree, JCP&L, it has been difficult the last few months. But hopefully, like the mayor said, we are hopefully going to make some progress. We are aware, and we know that the residents are, are really upset about this, yeah.
We're also going to have them come, we're asking them to come to the March meeting.
Yeah, that's good. That's very good. Okay, does anyone want to make a motion to accept?
Second.
Okay, moved by Dr. Greenberg Belli, second by Mr. De Palma.
Roll call. Councilperson Asatuli?
Yes.
Councilperson DeCaro?
Yes.
Councilperson De Palma?
Yes.
Councilperson Desai? Councilperson Garcia?
Yes.
Councilperson Murphy?
Yes.
Councilperson Pasquini?
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli? Yes. Council President Sohar?
Yes.
9 yeses.
Public comment on any subject matter for a maximum period of 3 minutes.
The public comment portion of our meeting is to allow the public to bring to the council's attention their concerns or comments. This section is open for any topic or items on the consent agenda in accordance with NJSA 10:4-12A and the Old Bridge Rules of Council. The council asks the public to limit their comments to 3 minutes or less. Only one member of the public shall approach to speak to council at a time. The council will respect the public's time by refraining from any comment until the speaker has finished with their allotted time. Should be further noted that the public comment portion of our meeting is not structured as a question and answer session. If a member of the public has questions they seek answers to, an appointment can be made with the corresponding department's office during regular business hours. Township clerk will regulate the time during the comment portion of our meeting. As you approach the microphone, please state whether you are a resident of Old Bridge. No name and address, please.
Okay, is there anyone in the public who wants to be heard? Seeing no hands, I will close the public portion. Council member comments?
Councilperson Asatuli.
I do. So, I've been to a couple of meetings so far, and last week there was a citizen that came up and voiced their opinion, which we do have freedom of speech in this country, and everybody's allowed to speak, whether you dislike it or not. We're allowed to talk. We can all agree on that, can't we, right? Okay. So, it was mentioned about, the Republican Party over the years, and she feels as though things are going south. And everybody has a right to their opinion. We would all agree. But Mary said something that was compelling, that resonated with me, and I think it resonates with all of us. I don't think anybody here on this dais, when you get a call from a citizen of Old Bridge, I don't ask them if they're a Democrat, if you're a Republican, or if you're an independent. I just ask them, how can I help? And I think we've gotten away from that. And I think the spirit of community and working together, it's so divisive when we need to understand one thing. As we sit up here and debate, and we all talk, we need to remember who we're debating for. And we're debating for what's in the best interest of the citizens of Old Bridge in this country. And I feel, and I know I'm probably going to say what a lot of people feel, but may not say. We all feel it. I think we got to go back to the kitchen table and stop understanding that it's God, family, country, community, and we're here as elected officials to do one thing: to make the citizens of Old Bridge life better. And I don't think anybody on this dais was elected to do anything but that. And I think with all the propaganda, with all the ridiculousness in society, it's crushing us. It's love thy neighbor, love your community. America, was built on freedom, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So for us, our job is to ensure that you can do that you can pursue life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and we're supposed to take the arrows for you. That's why we're elected, to serve the people. It's not some people. It's not a few people. It's we the people. And it's all the people. And I think when you're an elected official, no matter what role you have, that is our job. That is what the founders of this country, the Declaration of Independence, which is in my pocket, the Constitution of this country, it's a small book. We need to get back to that. And we need to understand what the most important thing is. And that is the people. So I know for sure that I've been here for 20 years. And everybody on this dais is here in their mind, they want to do the right thing. But we need to remember who the right thing is for. And it's for you. Somebody asked me recently, what is your agenda, Mr. Astatuli? And you know what I said? You. Full stop. And I hope that we can get back to that, because this isn't the divided United States. This is the United States. And we need to get back for the love of country, love of community, love of people. And as much as we can debate, it's good, it's okay. Then let's go have a drink afterwards, right? But the hate is so divisive, it crushes my soul. So when I decided to run and I decided to be involved, you know why? It's not right. And I know you all think the same way. But some people may not have the courage to speak. You know why? Because they'll get canceled. Maybe they'll lose their job. Maybe they're not allowed to talk because they're on one side of the aisle. But no one should ever be silenced. And it's up to us to ensure that no one gets silenced. And everybody should have the right to speak what's on their mind, because that's what this country was built on. And we will ensure that that happens. Thank you.
Councilperson DeCaro.
Thank you, Kate. Just real quick, so just to Mr. Asatuli's comments, I think it's really just not very nice that he just went after a resident that got up and shared her opinion about what she was seeing. And you talk about not wanting to cancel people, but you're literally you just disparaged a citizen, a resident who came up here, who went out of her way to come up here to the microphone, who doesn't normally come to the microphone. She came up here because of what she was seeing at this council meeting, last meeting, because what she was speaking about was what she was seeing because of every nominee that I put up that wasn't being, even acknowledged. I nominated the same person 6 times. So that's what the residents are seeing. And that is what she was speaking to. Not necessarily, if she called her councilman, but what she sees coming from this dais. And it's really easy when you are sitting in a position of being in the majority to feel that way and to say those things. But to not acknowledge, Mr. Asatuli, to not acknowledge that maybe someone sees something a little bit different than you is disparaging. It's hurtful. It's many words that I can come up with. So I'm sorry that you held that until today, that somebody came up and said those words to you. But you talk about not wanting to be divisive, but you just created another divisive situation just there. If you had just let that go, it would have just been a comment from a resident. So, that's all I have to say about that. The other thing that I wanted to, my original council comments that I wanted to say were, first of all, I did not mention at the last meeting, and my apologies, is I just wanted to recognize Black History Month, February 1st to March 1st. So I just wanted to acknowledge that this is Black History Month, and I know that they did a lot of wonderful things in the schools to honor the month. I know that this was something that was started in early 1900s by the son of someone who wasn't enslaved, and it was started out as a Black History Week. And it now is a Black History Month, and what I hope to see in the future is that Black history is just our history, it's just American history, and I hope that we don't, we're able to celebrate Black history January through December. So, hopefully, it went from a week, now it's a month. So hopefully it will be something that will be all year in the future. The other thing that I wanted to say was I went to the Old Bridge Elks Charity Ball on Saturday, and it was a really, really lovely night. And so it was put on by our Old Bridge Elks, and they honor people. They had 2 honorees that night. They had a lovely young woman by the name of Stephanie Puccio, who was the list of things that she had done, I can't repeat because it was such a long list, and such a lovely young woman. She was named the Ambassador of the Year. So I just want to say congratulations again to her. And also my dear friend Diane Michael was named the Elk Citizen of the Year. And I can speak to Diane and her dedication to our special needs community and her fierce, fierce fighting nature to provide inclusivity to all people of all needs. I'm sorry, of all abilities. And she just is a fierce, fierce advocate for everybody having a seat at the table. And so I just wanted to make mention of that. Now, the next thing that I want to mention is at the recent Board of Education meeting, it was voted 5-4 to abolish a policy named Policy 5756. And it's done, it's over. I'm not going to, rehash it at all, other than to say that nothing really has changed. Nothing really has changed. It was just, I don't really know what the issue was. The parental rights are the same today as they were prior to the abolishment of that policy. But what concerns me is the message that it sent to our very, very marginalized community, especially in the high school. And so what I would like to do is show them that we support them, show our LGBTQ community that we support them. So I would like to put up a resolution tonight that the Old Bridge Township Council supports our LGBTQ community, LGBTQ plus community, and the policies put in place to protect them. And I make a motion that we accept that resolution.
I second the resolution.
Well, the only thing I would say is, right, you reference a resolution, Mr. Caro, so I don't know what the resolution is. I don't know if the council knows what the resolution is.
I just said it.
Right, but you referenced the resolution. I don't know what the resolution, I don't know if council knows what the resolution is.
Well, it's a resolution, so to support, Mark, or to support our LGBTQ plus community and the policies to keep them safe.
Right, so typically a resolution is just that, it's a written document.
Sure.
That's prepared in anticipation of a meeting.
Mhm.
That's,
Okay, so can we, instead of,
can I finish?
Sure.
And then that's considered by the council during the course of the regular meeting as opposed to council comment.
okay, so what would be the procedure then, Mark, to get that introduced?
Typically, when issues with respect to whether or not council wants it, there's a discussion amongst council, and then council takes a vote to determine or whether or not they want something like that resolution created for consideration by the full council.
Okay, so can we have that conversation now?
Council President?
Yeah, we could have a conversation if you want.
Okay. I don't have a model. I just know that if this is what I would like as a resolution, that we support the LGBTQ community and the policies put in place to protect them.
But good, right, I mean, you're referencing policies by whom,
Did I say policy?
you said policies.
I apologize.
Right. You said policies put in place to protect them. So I guess from council's perspective, which policies you're referring to, and then, because that could be a myriad of policies.
I can take that out.
No, I don't know right, you referenced the policy. Are there policies?
Well, I'm talking about just general policies like NJ LAD, like, there's many policies. I can take that out if that isn't an ambiguous,
Right,
if
what?
that's ambiguous, I can take that out.
Yeah.
If you send me an email or what you think you want, and then I can try
Together.
to
For next meeting?
Yeah.
put something together
That-
for
I
the
think
council to
that's the
consider.
best way to-
Absolutely, absolutely.
Basically.
I can do that.
Yeah,
I can do that.
So I can formulate something.
Sure,
Okay.
sure.
All right, that sounds good. Okay. Are you through with your comments, or?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
All right. Okay, go ahead.
Councilperson De Palma.
Yes, thank you. So I was up here last week when the JCP&L folks came up, and the mayor stole my thunder when she had mentioned how they were putting in bad bulbs. She had said that, when I was speaking to her, that they had put in something like 50 bulbs the week before, and some of them were already burning out. I think it was due to, I don't know if we could use COVID anymore as an excuse, but I guess the supply chain issues had caused some problems with what they've gotten, and they were using that excess, and that seems to be the issue. But as I've driven around, and I was on the phone with the council president one night, picking out streets that were dark and things like that, I would like to ask, again, make sure that the residents do go out there, if it's in front of your house, get the pole, put it up on their reporting so that they have it. So I've been following up with JCP&L now probably for the better part of 6 months on whether it's power outages or lights out. I'm sure our representative is going to lose my number eventually and start blocking me. I talk to her so much, but we just need to make sure that we're on top of this. I get when things go out, but I've heard horror stories that we've had lights out for a year. If they were reported and they didn't do it, shame on them. If they've been out for a year and we didn't report it, it's shame on us. But all I want to make sure is that we're being proactive so that we can hold JCP&L's feet to the fire, and they don't have any recourse saying, well, no one told us. Because they don't have people driving around at night to look for the bulbs out. Right? We have to do that. So if you do see that, let them know. If there's problems, reach out to your council person. We will help you, because this is, I think, a priority for all of us, whether it's power outages or lights out, because it is starting to get ridiculous. Okay. That's all I have.
Councilperson Desai.
I have no comment.
Councilperson Garcia.
Yes, thank you. I just make a quick comment regarding Councilman Asatouli's comments. I think what he's trying to do is basically say we have to come together as a group, as a town, and stop all the bickering over silly stuff. Republican, it doesn't matter. We have to come together. I think that's what he was trying to get to, and I think that's what came across as far as I'm concerned. So that's all I have to say regarding that. I want to thank the lone resident here for coming out in this crazy weather.
Let's go. In the rain.
So thank you, Marianne, for coming out tonight. Yeah. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Councilperson Murphy.
No, thank you. I don't have anything to say.
Councilperson Pasquitti.
Yes. Of course, we have freedom of speech, and but there's people that want to divide, and there's people that want to bring together, and you can tell the difference between those people. How they talk, and how they try to bring up political things or make them political. like that policy 5756 in the Old Bridge Board of Ed, I don't think that teachers should be keeping secrets from the parents. And that's what that policy did. And I'm glad they rescinded it. So, I mean, that was one part of it. There's other parts to that. The LGBTQ community is protected through our state laws. The problem that we're facing is that the state is, through the Department of Education, is they're trying to move their agenda. The thing that's going through the State House now is this bill that says that it's called right to read, but it's not a right to read. It protects the librarians from getting sued from parents for allowing pornography in the libraries. There's this movement, it's insane in my opinion. They want to bring pornography into the schools and sexualize our children. It's horrible, it's disgusting, and we need to stand up against it. So if there's going to be a resolution, we should stand up against our Department of Education and what they're trying to do to our children. Because I think if the parents knew what was going on in the public school, they would take their children out and put them in private school, because it's really bad. It's worse than you think. Thank you.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Yes, I would just like to thank the Old Bridge Elks Lodge 2229 for all of their efforts supporting our special needs programs in town. And I'd like to congratulate Stephanie Puccio, Ambassador of the Year and Citizen of the Year, Diane Michael. We are always eager to support the Elks for all the positive contributions that they make to the community. I've been to that charity ball many times, and it's really nice to see that the positive things that people do to reach out to help other people. And I would just like to end it with, it's unfortunate that people always have to go and make opinions on what people are thinking. It's like they're making assumptions. The words aren't even coming out of their mouth. You say something, but they're misinterpreting. You're thinking this. You can't think for someone else. You can think for yourself, and I advise everyone to think positive, be grateful, be really in a way that you could pass on something good to someone else all the time. Be gracious, be kind, and I think that goes a long way without all this other nonsense. Thank you.
Council President Sohar.
Yes, I also just wanted to say thank you again to the Elks. It really was a wonderful event. It always is every year. They are just such a giving organization and so kind to the town. And of course to Stephanie and Diane, because they really are very, very special people. I think it's just wonderful what they've done for the township, and just in general, they're just really great people. The last thing is the Housing Authority and the Section 8 program. Just wanted to make sure when Mr. Peschetti mentioned that you can apply at the library and you would have some assistance if you're not sure how to do it, or if maybe like myself, you're not quite that good with the computer. So if you go there, you'd be able to apply, and that's very important because that's a program that really is geared to help people here and get people housing that they really need. So please, if you have, if you feel you qualify, please go. And if you don't have anything home, go to the library and let them help you with that program. So I just want to make sure everybody out there heard that. JCP&L, we are really working very hard with them, trying to get this under control. It is a lot. And I do agree, I have more residents call me about that than speeding, which is like incredible to me. So please, if you are, if you're having trouble, try to report it the way they said. And if not, you can reach out to the council person. We're more than willing to help you. Thank you very much.
A motion to adjourn and enter executive session for matters of contract negotiations and potential sale of township property.
Are we coming back?
No, that's why we're adjourning.
That's what I'm saying, just want people to know out there.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I mean, we're not just marrying it on the television.
So motion by Dr. Greenberg Belli, who seconded?
Yes, yeah.
Councilperson
Because
DePalma.
sometimes we talk.
Roll call, Councilperson Asatuli?
Yes.
Councilperson DeCaro? Yes. Councilperson DePalma?
Yes.
Councilperson Desai? Yes. Councilperson Garcia?
Yes.
Councilperson Murphy?
Yes.
Councilperson Pasquitti? Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli?
Yes.
Council President Sohar?
Yes.
9 yeses.
Okay.
Adjourned at 8:55 PM.